Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the newest episode of Fire Force. I'm both extremely excited and worried to get into this reaction because I enjoy Fire Force, but more so than that, I'm a massive fan of this author, ATSUSHI OHKUBO, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Um, and I am a manga reader for Fire Force, and I liked it, enjoyed it, especially the ending. But to be honest, way more than that, I am a massive fan of Soul Eater. One of my favorite mangas, has one of my favorite fights of all of manga and anime between Blackstar and Mifune. And then also this series also has just like an outstanding fight in this final section of episodes. But I am slightly worried because they're about to cram 88 chapters into this, which I do think is more doable than some people expect. There's some chapters that are pretty dialogue heavy, but there's a lot that they can condense into like just like a big fight scene and stuff like that because there's a lot of action. And so there's going to be some episodes I imagine they can get like 3 to 4 chapters, and then some they may have to get like upwards to like 10 in an episode. So that is a little bit worrying, but overall I've loved this adaptation so far. I think season 3 was the weakest point, and even then it was still like better than mediocre. Like it was just weaker compared to the previous 2 seasons. Um, and yeah, I'm just a really big fan of the author and his like whole aesthetics, his fight choreography, the way he does power ups, and like the more like because his stories usually aren't that like crazy in depth, but the way he like approaches storytelling and stuff, I really appreciate. So I hope this final core is going to be able to do justice to Fire Force, but let's not waste too much more time and hop right into this reaction. Anyone new here, this will be a timer reaction, so if you want the audio and or full video, you can just sync up with my copy. But other than that, I'll give us a countdown. 3, 2, 1, start. And I believe we're picking up right, yeah, where we left last season with him time skipping after the fucking insane revelation. That part of Fire Force is one of my favorite aspects. That and the ending. Oh, yeah, we're seeing that all again. Um, I actually kind of like this look on Shinra, I won't lie. No opening either. Bro's getting worried. I forget how long of a time jump this is. It's like 5 months or something, I think, or 3 months maybe. 3 months. Second guess was right. Yeah, this when I first saw this, I thought that I was gonna hate that they like did a time jump, but I honestly kind of love how they handled this, and the whole doppelganger plotline is actually really cool, even though it started out pretty messy. Good opening scene. Yeah, I think this one is supposed to adapt 3 chapters. I could be wrong though. Dude, fucking Arthur constantly knows. Like he was able to guess out all of the imposters in Benahime's place as well. I think Shinra had a bit of a realization as well right there. Oh, yeah, he's just just realizing. Pathetic Yankee is funny. So far this feels like 1-to-1 from this chapter. Shinra has grown on me so much too, because like when I was first introduced to this anime, I dropped it because I wasn't a fan of it. But I really came back around on this series. Yeah, bro needs to think for a while. Yeah, it's crazy that it isn't just like he lost his memory. It was like a different person living in his body. Oh, you can see his tats. The leg tattoos are sick as fuck though. Yeah, he's back to normal, although I know for a fact he's a little bit mentally fucked still from everything he saw. I'm glad that got adapted. That's such a cute moment between them. There's actually another really cute moment like that later, down the line in this arc with Arthur and another character. Yeah, definitely not in character for you. That shot is so clean. That manga panel looks fire too. This, oh, that's good. Bass drop for the reveal. That is the end of first chapter. That's one chapter, I'm pretty sure, because I remember that cliffhanger in the manga. God, I couldn't. The fact that like he's just has essentially seen a higher dimension and has to go back to living. Yeah, very different. Kind of hard to explain, to be honest, Arthur. Oh, I love going to black and white like that. Like he's losing his perception a little bit. That's cool. I was just gonna say strange doesn't even really describe it, to be fair. This is honestly like at least these two chapters that are adapting right now is just like all dialogue stuff. But honestly, the last chapter and this chapter and the episodes are really cool for the lore wise of the series. This is such a great way to describe it too, to have Shinra essentially draw like a 2D image and a scribble and compare it to what he saw. Fuck, such a cool concept. Yeah, the fact until like up until this point, my assumption was always like Shinra's, where um uh the gate before it was just like basically the same, but just without the powers and everything. The perception people have of him. I'm actually surprised he didn't get full set. That's diabolical, though. Yeah, and this is the part where it like ties in the doppelganger plot together for me. God, I I imagine Shinder just feels so bad, but the sister is like definition of nicest person ever, pretty much. Back to normal. Fucking just scribbled out all of the drawing. So sweet, and I also think we're about to get one of the reveals about her. I don't know if how many anime onlys have put together what went on in the end of last season. Ship was progressing. We skipped what, four pillars being uh brought up. Yeah, there's no shot Shenra of all people would be able to get rid of that thought, at least without her intervention. Is that when the priest or whatever lit on fire? Fair, fair. Yeah, it fucking just ramped up in speed so fast. I love how for the power scaling in this world, Endgame literally just basically everyone in the series gets buffed. Do got the powers now, which to be fair makes total sense, and I'm actually surprised it took this long for something like this to happen with her character. But I mean, it also makes even more sense after learning everything with the orphanage, which means she would have had to got powers because all the other ones turned into infernals. Sorry, I was reading. And you fucking well, I was gonna say we do know of someone who looks exactly like her. Oh, interesting. They didn't have. That's interesting the way they did that. I think this is the moment where Shinra realizes, as I said, like the definition of a nicest person ever. So cool. That's also I'm pretty sure end to a chapter as well because I stuff like that, like the big reveals, I do remember, and I have read the Fire Force manga I think at least twice, which makes sense. It is essentially getting closer to being like one thing, and they're like, um, it's not also like has anything to do with your perspective on yourself or anything. It's everyone else's perspective on you that creates the doppelganger. Yeah, definitely defy logic. I only wish we had like one more arc around the world and like exploring stuff before we went to the final stage. Oh, yeah, it makes sense. But oh yeah, that totally makes sense because I remember like late game what happens with the pillars. For some reason, I feel like when I read the manga, I thought of the pillars farther apart from each other. And considering this episode is just like pure yapping, pretty much, I think this is like probably one of the more dense 3 chapters, and it's paced pretty well in my opinion. So they're not cutting too much. I have faith in this adaptation. Please, David Production, don't fuck me. Dude, Obi is also such a fucking great dude. Oh god. I think next episode should they might adapt all that in a single episode too. Oh, yeah. I forgot no one else knows. Which makes sense. She just said that she was telling Shinra for the first time. Having another one. Yeah, because we should get a pretty amazing Benihime moment next episode then. God. Benihime, one of the GOAT characters in this show. Him, Joker are like probably my top two, but there's other really amazing characters in this show too. Oh God. There's Burns' doppelganger, I believe, anyways, because it has the eye and the horns. Oh God. Do we not even have an outro this episode? I think we might just full on be doing a full episode. Oh no, it's gonna cut to an outro right now. I can feel it. Uh, pretty great episode, considering. Oh, that was totally the fucking Soul Eater shit. Um, yeah, considering how much they have to adapt, and I think if my memory serves right, this is one of the more dense sections of dialogue. They did pretty well. they it was, I think, 3 and maybe a half chapters, or 3 chapters total. Um, so out of 88, that's still not a ton, but like for example, this ending/opening looks really good. Oh God, it's so weird seeing some of this stuff in the anime. Also, that moment, I won't spoil anything, but the moment with that face right there, honestly, is where I think they should have ended last season, and then had the rest as a final section by itself. Um, but they might have probably still had to cut stuff to get it into like 3 seasons worth of show. Oh, fucking three eyes. God, I love his aesthetic so much and the way he designs stuff. Oh my God, that even gets fair amount of spoilers in this opening, by the way. I don't know how much anime onlys will be able to get from it, but oh, the fucking oh, what's this um Benahime's captain has oh God, who does he have voice? Instantly, it made me think of oh Urodaki, is that his name? Toshiro, not yeah, Toshiro's teacher and Demon Slayer. It was definitely his voice actor. He voices a lot of other characters, but that's just who I immediately heard when I heard listened to him. But that's pretty good voice actor choice. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this episode, all things considered. This feels good. Like, I'm happy with this. If we have 11 more episodes, there are some moments, like I think, for example, that Arthur fight I mentioned. That is a really awesome moment. But I think if like they spend like just almost like a solid episode just on that, they can condense. It's quite a few chapters, so that would be one where I think they could maybe fit like 10 or so chapters. Um, so I think it should be possible with this adaptation. There might be some parts that they trim out a little bit. Um, like honestly, there's I think a character that gets introduced that just does basically nothing throughout the whole show that they could like cut with some of those scenes, and uh, there's honestly a fight or two that could also probably be cut, but I would rather see adapted because even though it's not super important, it still looks really good and has a really sweet moment. Um, but yeah, good adaptation for the first episode. Definitely, I think felt a little bit better than like the first half of Core 3, or first half of season 3 of the first Core. Like, um, it felt paced good. The directing felt good. It wasn't just like a slow dialogue heavy episode where, in my case, I know almost all of this information. It was just a little bit of a refresher. Cool seeing animated. I especially love seeing Shinro with like his tattoos and hair and everything. But yeah, I think there is potential, especially if like just the sound design and animation just like a little bit better than last season, not a lot. Like I'm not asking for like an absolutely insane thing, just like slightly better than last season. And as long as they are smart with what they cut and rearrange and stuff, I think we could get a better adaptation for the second core based off this episode. But I will catch you guys all later. I will be reacting to every episode day one as long as I can. And yeah, I will catch you guys all later. Peace.